The silence in Dry Creek was heavy, like the desert before a storm. The stranger stood there, hat tilted low, voice calm but cutting sharp through the crowd. "You're about to hang the wrong man." The sheriff's lip curled, his hand tightening on the revolver at his side. "Stranger," he growled, "this here's my town. My law. And you don't get to tell me who's right or wrong." The crowd froze, caught between the pull of fear and curiosity. Every eye flicked between the lawman and the newcomer. But the stranger didn't flinch. He stepped forward, boots crunching slow on the dirt. His coat shifted, revealing the glint of a Colt resting easy at his hip. "You call it law," he said, "but looks more like a rope and a lie to me." A murmur rippled through the crowd. The sheriff stiffened, but before he could spit back, the stranger's hand moved. Fast. Too fast. His revolver cleared leather, barrel gleaming in the dying sun, aimed square at Sheriff Briggs's chest. The air turned to ice. "Cut him down," the stranger ordered, nodding at Elias. The hangman hesitated, sweat trickling down his neck. The sheriff snarled, but even he knew, one twitch wrong, and he'd be the first to fall. Slowly, the rope was loosened, and Elias staggered free, rubbing the burn from his neck. He turned wide eyes on the stranger, whispering, "Who the hell are you?" The stranger holstered his gun. "Just a man who don't stomach injustice." But justice in the West never rode alone. As the stranger and Elias made their way out of town, whispers chased them, whispers that turned to shouts, shouts that became the sound of boots gathering and rifles cocking. Sheriff Briggs wasn't a man to swallow humiliation. Before night fell, the posse was already on their trail. They rode hard into the desert, the stranger leading, Elias following close. The stars stretched wide over them, endless and cold, the wind carrying nothing but silence. But silence in the desert often hides death. Near Dead Man's Gulch, gunfire cracked. Bullets sparked off rock. Horses reared. The posse had found them. The stranger wheeled his black horse, firing back sharp and clean. Elias scrambled, clutching at a borrowed rifle, firing wild into the dark. Dust filled the air, shouts echoing off canyon walls. The stranger's aim was steady, each shot deliberate, every pull of the trigger spelling death for another man chasing them. But the posse was too many. A bullet tore into Elias's shoulder. He cried out, tumbling from his horse. The stranger cursed, wheeling back to drag him behind a ridge. "You ride," Elias gasped. "Leave me." "Not my way," the stranger said, reloading fast. "You'll stand, or we both fall." The fight raged till dawn. And when the sun rose over the gulch, the posse was broken, but Elias bled heavy, his life hanging by threads. They found shelter at a trading post on the edge of the desert. A quiet place run by a grizzled old trader and his wife. They took Elias in, patched him up, fed the stranger's horse. But kindness was thin currency out west. By nightfall, the trader whispered into the telegraph, sending word to Sheriff Briggs, "The stranger's here." When dawn broke, the sound of hooves thundered once more. Gunmen closed in on the trading post, rifles gleaming in the sun. The stranger saw the truth in the trader's eyes before the first shot was fired. Betrayal. He dragged Elias out the back, lead tearing into the wooden walls around them. The trader's wife screamed, the trader himself choking on the weight of his decision. But it was too late. With no time to fight, they rode blind into the desert, Elias weak and fading, the stranger cursing the treachery of men. Days blurred into heat and thirst. The desert showed no mercy. Their water ran dry, their horses staggered, and Elias slipped in and out of fevered dreams. The stranger walked beside his horse, lips cracked, eyes burning. Each step was a fight against the sun, each breath a prayer whispered into the sand. Buzzards circled above, waiting. When Elias collapsed for the last time, the stranger dropped to his knees beside him. "You're not dying here," he growled. "Not in this cursed place. But he had nothing left to give. No water. No shade. No hope. That's when he heard them. Hoofbeats. Drums. Voices in the wind. The Apache. They came silent as shadows, faces painted, eyes sharp. The stranger tensed, hand on his Colt, but he knew he was outnumbered, too weak to fight. The Apache war chief studied him, then looked down at Elias's broken body. For long moments, no word passed. Only the desert wind spoke. Finally, the chief nodded. With a gesture, Elias was lifted, carried, saved. Days turned to nights in the Apache camp. Elias was healed with herbs and fire, the stranger watched over him, wary but respectful. And slowly, a bond formed. The Apache saw the stranger's honor, his refusal to abandon a dying man. And in return, they offered him what no town, no sheriff, no law ever had, trust. From them he learned silence deeper than the desert, patience sharper than any blade. And when Elias could walk again, the stranger knew, the fight wasn't over. It was only beginning. They rode back into Dry Creek under storm clouds, thunder rolling like war drums. Elias at the stranger's side, the Apache riders trailing like ghosts behind them. The town froze as the black horse trotted into the square. Sheriff Briggs stepped out of the saloon, hand already on his revolver, sneer etched across his face. Well, well, he spat. The dead rise after all. The stranger dismounted, coat swaying in the wind. His voice was calm, but it carried the weight of storms. You tried to hang an innocent man. You hunted us through the desert. You betrayed your own people. And now, Briggs, he let the silence hang, heavy as the rope that once waited for Elias. You'll answer for it. The street cleared. Boots scraped. Doors slammed shut. The duel was written in the dust long before the guns cleared leather. Briggs drew first. Too slow. Too sloppy. The stranger's Colt thundered once. Briggs staggered, shock freezing his eyes, before crumpling into the dirt he once ruled. The storm broke overhead, rain cutting through the desert heat, washing the blood into the earth. Elias stood tall beside the stranger, alive, free, his voice hoarse but steady. What now? He asked. The stranger pulled his hat low, turning toward the horizon. Now, he said, the West remembers. And with that, he rode into the rain, his shadow swallowed by the storm, a ghost, a legend, a reminder that even in a land built on dust and blood, justice could still ride in at sundown.